Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Hey, you guys. Thank you for joining us for another House of DVF AfterBuzz show. It's season 1, episode 7, and the title is All is Fair in War and Fashion.
See, that's why that was
That's
the song.
hence the song.
Hence the song.
I'm your host, Kristina Zias, and joining me tonight are these two lovely ladies.
Hello, everyone. I am Tiona Hobson.
Hey, everyone. I'm Teresa Law.
And there's 3 hosts because, well, tonight we find out there's down to 3 girls, so...
Oh, so we're eliminating our host as we go, too?
So next week, there's going to be no one here.
There's going to be 2.
There's going to be 2,
right.
yeah.
We're down to the final 2.
Okay, but this was a really good episode. Another one. I feel like a lot actually happened in it.
Yeah.
And we start off by having Brittany at Diane's beautiful house, like having tea. I feel like Diane looked kind of naked in this part of the episode,
She
too.
had her leg out and
Like,
just,
she-
like, sprawled on that couch,
She had
like,
come
oh.
hither look.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I feel like she's like a sexy older woman, and it's not like she's provocative at all. But there's just something so fabulous about her that you just can't help but be attracted.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. Like, even like sometimes I'm like, I love her hair. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, but anyways, okay. So we predicted that Brittany wouldn't be going home.
Yeah.
And we're
then,
right.
And then I will say this, too. E! Online totally blew it. And they released an article about like 5 of Brittany's like bitchiest lines or something like that. And Brittany actually retweeted it out. So I read it. And the last one, it's like talking about something that was said in tonight's episode. This was
really?
like this was like last week before the episode even
away.
aired. And they're like, so she sits down at Diane's house with her. And then later on in the episode when she's back in the city because she didn't get eliminated, I was like, oh.
Oh, they said that?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you just revealed that she did not get eliminated.
That's
before
funny.
the audience actually knew she didn't get eliminated.
Spoiler alert.
Way to go.
This was like the Walking Dead fiasco, you know, like someone clearly screwed up, and clearly this is as big a deal as Walking Dead.
Same scale.
So it's the same scale. I'm not being dramatic at all.
I mean, we kind of knew that was going to happen, though, right?
Yeah, we knew she wasn't going home.
I wish they showed a little bit more of their meeting together, but I guess it was nice. I mean, I guess Diane just wanted to like have some one-on-one time with her to see like what's this girl's deal and why do people think she's a bitch.
Right. I mean, she's heard stories from Jessica and Stephanie about Brittany's behavior, and she wanted to address that head on. And so she asked her, you know, what's this dark side about you that I hear about? And we learned that she's been in an abusive relationship, and so she gets defensive when she feels like people are attacking her.
I saw something that Kier actually tweeted, and she's like, Brittany said it so well. I was like in an abusive relationship too with all of my high school. Like,
so it was kind of like a cop-out way of getting out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Take that how you want to take it, but that's what happened. So obviously Brittany doesn't get eliminated, and she comes back to the city with super exciting news for the girls because they have an InStyle magazine shoot, and obviously no one was happy to see her.
No, those girls wanted her gone.
Yes. I think Kier was the only one who said, like, I knew you weren't going home. Amanda clearly wanted her out. And Lenore, she speculated. She's just like so silly. How
So
can you not
positive
love
all the time.
Yeah, she's so nice. I feel like spoiler alert, Lenore went home. But I feel like as soon as she went home, like the episode got so mean.
It
Like,
did.
right? Like she was the breath of fresh air. She was the energy, like the happiness in the group. So
What did you guys think about how Brittany didn't tell the girls what went on in that meeting with DVF? Do you think that was a good strategic move?
yes.
Yes, and I agreed with her that it was really none of their business because no one else came back from their one-on-one time with DVF and told everyone what happened and exactly what they talked about. And if they did say something, they embellished the truth a lot to be like, oh yeah, you know, it was so great meeting. Like, everyone does that because you don't want people to know your faults.
Right, exactly.
It's still a competition.
That's what I was going to say, because that conversation was very much about her weakness. So
yeah.
It's not a smart move to tell the girls about that.
Tell them.
Yeah, I agree too. I feel like because then they would have had something to like eat at her, you know, like to pick on Brittany for, when they all know she's a damn good competitor and might just win. So she doesn't need to give them a reason to take her down. Okay, so the girls have the InStyle magazine shoot where they get to pick a total DVF look, and then they're going to be photographed in it, and then they have a private, well, it wasn't really private, but they have an interview as well for the magazine. So the girls did pretty well with their styling. Like, I feel everyone did well except for Lenore. She struggled a little bit. And I just feel bad because I think Lenore already has it in her head. Like, she's like set up to fail because everyone keeps talking about how bad her style is and that she has no taste. It was like kind of a theme of the season. And first off, like, how are we going to talk about, like, Diane doesn't want people who are like bitchy on her team, but I feel like she needs to like really look at Jessica Jaffe and do something about this because Jessica Jaffe is a bully.
Especially with Lenore during the styling challenge.
She was so mean to her.
She was.
And it wasn't even like, she doesn't offer any advice. It's just like criticism.
Right. She said that Lenore's outfit looked like a clown outfit.
Right.
I mean, how does that help anyone?
And it didn't. I mean, like, maybe it wasn't the right thing to wear, but I think she looked super hot in that black dress the first thing she came out in.
Yeah, I think everyone just has their own different coaching styles, and Jessica's style is just to tell you what's wrong, but wait for you to come up with the answer. Because as much as I wanted her to help Lenore, I also understood that this is a competition and she's trying to see how these girls think and how they would actually do it. Because in the real world, if they had this job, Jessica wouldn't be there to hold their hand through it.
Right.
So it's kind of like, okay, you sure you're done with that? Are you positive? Like, she's trying to get the best out of them. Just sometimes I think with her deadpan face and stuff, it comes off a little bitchy.
Yeah.
No, I guess I know what you mean. Like, if Lenore is going to win and represent the brand, she has to get dressed in DVF every single day. So if she can't style one look right now for herself, you know, it's going to be difficult. Mm-hmm. But I wish she, along with her bitchy comments, was like, you know, normally you don't pair this type of cardigan with the shirt underneath because of this. So at least she's teaching her something at the same time.
Yeah, I wish that they, like, I mean, not to jump ahead too much, but, you know, with the Nordstrom thing, they had a coaching session. So it wasn't just you're in there with the Bulldogs. Like, they had a session for coaching and where you can critique and help. And I think in this situation, they haven't had a sit-down styling session where it's like, okay, this is the reasons why we don't do this. I think they just are assuming the girls already know the rules of fashion and can put it together themselves. So maybe if they did have a separate coaching session, because in that space, it's not the time for her to be teaching Lenore these things.
I wonder if that was dependent on who was running that session, because Stephanie was the one who did the coaching on that, and I think she ran it so effectively. The girls would go up, do their thing, and then she would come in and say, here's what you need to work on, what you need to highlight. So I wonder if it just depends on
if it was like
who's
Stephanie
running
or
the show.
Jessica.
That's the way Jessica decided to do it.
Maybe. But I mean, it came out pretty well. The photos look good. I don't know if any of you guys read the articles or not. I've just seen like glimpses from Twitter and Instagram. But they seemed really cute, and they all had like their own little suggestions and everything. I guess the only person, I mean, I thought all the photos looked great, but while they were doing the shoot, again, Lenore seemed to be struggling a little bit. And it just sucks for Lenore that, of course, as soon as it's her turn to go, Diane walks in. Because it's just like, you know, like just not her luck.
Didn't that happen with the interview too?
Yeah.
Pretty
It was
much,
like right when they got to like a Lenore question, all of a sudden here comes DVF in the room.
Exactly.
She wasn't getting
You
a
can
fair
see
shake
Lenore
of things.
really like take back by that, because you could see just she's very like expressive. So
Yeah.
I think immediately you could tell that she was rattled.
And I feel like Amanda keeps skating by because Well, one, I didn't think the flash tattoos were that big of a deal. I don't know about you guys.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but as soon as I found out I was going to a photo shoot, I would have gone in my bathroom, got like an alcohol swab or whatever, and like taken it off.
Or once you got to the photo shoot and you realized it was a big deal because Jessica said something right away, then you go and take them off.
Yeah. I mean, how often are you going to be in style? You know, you should get it right. Otherwise, you're going to be looking back on these pictures and you're like wearing these flash tattoos.
That's true, too. It was great advertising for the brand, though, by the way. Yeah. Like, I hope Amanda or someone got paid for that because I'm sure, like, so many people went on and ordered flash tattoos after them. I know I love them. So they have, and then Amanda, I feel like, skated by totally in their personal interviews, too, because she was asked the question about the campaign. And I can kind of see what they mean by when they say, like, she's a little young. Because she does seem a little young sometimes too.
Yeah, I think there are moments when that comes out, and I think she needs to learn how to assert herself. I think we've seen that, especially in this episode. So she is taking the constructive criticisms to heart and making an effort to change it.
How do you think she handled the question that was asked? Tiona, you're like literally chuckling.
Because, I mean, me as someone who also knew nothing about the brand, I didn't find out until 15 minutes later in the episode that they were talking about a model and not the fashion line.
Right. That was a tough question.
It was a tough question, but if that's the job that I want, I'm gonna know
all about
the brand and stuff. So I get, but it's also, it goes back to the first episode with the whole phone situation. With my girl, what's her face? Tiffany. You know, do I think that someone could have reached out and given her a bit of an olive branch to help her out with that question? Yes. It's a competition, though, so I see why they want to set her up for failure. But ultimately, your interview is also going to fail if you're not there to pick up the pieces for her.
Totally.
Like, someone could have been like, oh, you know what? I think what she's meaning is this, instead of all just like, girl, you done did it now.
Yeah.
You know? So
we saw some of that from Kier after Amanda answered that question, or didn't answer it.
What? That she tried to help her out, or that?
No, I think she chimed in, and it was very much like, you know, this was the current campaign. Like, why don't you know it?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but calling her out in that way in front of the interviewer.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not cool. Like, while the interview is still going on, the tape recorder is still recording. There's another way to say that without saying those words.
Right, because she wouldn't tell her what it was. She just told her what it wasn't to, like, kind of make her look bad.
It's our current campaign, so I'm thinking the same thing as, you know, Amanda. Oh, they're talking about the clothes themselves, not a person. Oops. Oopsie.
I think for me, my favorite part of this was when Lenore was talking about working at the bakery. And like, I just feel bad for making fun of her, and it just like, she's so
Bless
sweet.
Her heart.
It was just, I think she said something about like having a really diverse background, and I wish she just didn't start it with that. Because then you're like, okay, what's your diverse background? And she said she's worked at a bakery for 15 years, and I feel like that's definitely not the experience that they wanted to hear.
Right. And then Violet, when she was telling DVF about how the girls did, she said, well, Lenore really highlighted the fact that she has little experience in fashion.
Right. Which ultimately hurt her in the end.
Right.
But she's so sweet.
And I kind of want to see the ending of that answer, because, you know, they just stop her at the bakery stuff.
So you think there could have been more?
I mean, there could have been more, but like, I just want to know where she thought she was going with it. Because I get, you say a diverse background. So I started off in a bakery where I was, you know, crafting, you know, these gorgeous cakes and designing them and making them pretty. And it's like, oh, and then I started doing it on paper to clothes, and like the transformation
Tiona,
from the bakery into,
that was not
like,
where Lenore was going with this. Like,
but it could have been.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Like, I get what you're saying, but no.
No, because I'm like, if you say a diverse background and you're like, I started off in a bakery and now you're designing you're like in a competition for a fashion show. I want to know what made you go from like at the bakery to there. But I guess.
I mean, no, because all she really talked about, she did say like, that's why she's such a good people person. She could have highlighted in those couple of minutes her like cake decorating
But
skills.
does she have any fashion experience from what we know?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean, she asked her if she's ever worked in fashion, right? And she said no.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's still a way to kind of get that, you know, across.
Right.
The bakery thing could have worked, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
It's like in a job interview when they, you know, ask you a question and you're like, I have no idea where I'm going with this answer, but I'm going to pull something out of my butt and it's going to be magical.
Yes.
It just
Fingers
never got
time.
to the magical part.
Poor Lenore. So, I mean, we obviously see her go home. And it's always interesting when Diane calls a girl in for a meeting.
Yeah.
So
She's eliminated girls in all different ways.
for sure, and all different times, and all like that's what actually something I really like about the show. You know, it's not, you just never know.
And can we really think about it? It was probably only like the day after Brittany had just gotten called for her meeting, because Brittany got back and told them they were going. None of the girls had seen Brittany. So it was either the same day or the next day.
The next day,
that
probably.
they met up, and then they would go straight to the in-style thing, and then she goes straight to the car with Diane and then goes home. So that, I mean, 2 meetings within a 2-day span, that's kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
We are winding down. One episode left.
We're winding down. And I will say that Lenore did tweet out right before the episode aired on Sunday, and it just said something, it was very discreet about, like, I have a lot to say about tonight's episode or something like
very
that.
Cryptic on
yeah,
that.
and I was like, oh, Lenore's going home. I just saw it and I was like, oh man, she's gonna be the one to go home.
I really liked Lenore, but I do think it was the appropriate choice. Like, I feel like out of the 4 that were left, she does have the least amount of experience, and yeah, maybe she's really nice, but she just didn't necessarily seem like the brand ambassador.
But I mean, Kier only just runs a blog. Like, that's not hard. Anyone can have a blog.
Amanda was okay. Do you want to get into Amanda really quickly, and then we can talk about the dress? This is my issue with Amanda. Well, first of all, okay, I'm going in order. Screw this. Okay, so they find out that they're going to pitch the dresses that they designed, right? And while they're doing this, Jessica calls Amanda in to have a meeting with her. And I don't know why Jessica's so obsessed with Amanda. I really, I don't get it, because I understand what Brittany and Kay are saying. I feel like we've all talked about how both of them have excelled in certain competitions and do seem like they could be really great brand ambassadors. But I do agree. I feel like Amanda is kind of just skating by. Like, there's nothing that she's done that seems fantastic.
We didn't remember who she was for the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, she made no impression at all
to get her to stick.
Yeah, and I think she's been kind of overdoing it with emphasizing constantly, I've had 3 corporate internships and I have the most experience, but we also need to see you in action on these challenges and really stand out.
I mean, they talk in the first I think it was the first episode when Tiffany, with the whole phone situation, you brought up, her phone wasn't working and kind of ruined it. Well, how about when they were going to the Hamptons, she was in charge of, getting them there, and, she didn't really do that well, or, timely at least. And I feel like she didn't really get blamed for that, because that incident happened with Brittany and Jessica, so all the attention went to that. I feel like she's just totally skating by. And so for Jessica, who seems to be the ultimate big red mean girl, is
Big red.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She to have her sit down and be like, "You're my favorite." It just, I couldn't even believe that she would even say that.
I thought that was very unprofessional to tell someone that you're the favorite when they're in a job interview process with 2 other people. And I think that Jessica is only telling her this because Jessica does not like Kier or Brittany. Mm-hmm. So she's just like, hey, I don't like the other 2, so I like this one. So she's kind of helping her, which I guess we all get help to get jobs sometimes, if you know someone at the company. But in this aspect, I just felt like it was very unprofessional for her to, be like, hey, I'm clearly playing favorites with you right now. Right. Not I'm secretly playing favorites with you. I'm outright saying you're my favorite. And you need to do these things so that DVF can see you as this person, and then putting her right in front of DVF's face to prove herself worthy.
She gave Amanda really good advice. She said that you need to assert yourself a little bit more. I see you kind of withdrawing from that. Why is that? You know, Brittany and Kier are really aggressive and you need to, you know, match them. And then we actually see her put that into action. I don't know if it's in a good way or not. We can get into that later.
Yeah, that was my other thing. Because even when DVF told her before to be more assertive, she comes back and she goes from like 0 to 1,000.
But it's not in a good way.
No, it's
think.
not.
Exactly.
And it's too much too soon. And it's like, whoa, now you seem like the bitch because you're just picking fights. You're picking on people on like their flaws instead of, hey, don't highlight their flaws. Highlight your like the good things about you.
100%.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
When the three of them were in that meeting with DVF at the end of the episode, I felt like it was like a fight between like little kids and like in front of their parent or something.
Yeah, it was so petty.
So petty. And I mean, it's embarrassing. Like you're sitting there in front of Diane and you're telling her like, especially when she interrupted Kier and she's just like, well, like, I just want to know what you've done. Like, because I feel like you have no experience. She talks like she's very condescending. And at least like Brittany and Kier, when they say something to her, they do it behind like closed doors and it's just to Amanda. It's not like in front of Diane or the team.
But that question that DVF threw out there, I mean
it didn't
claws have
position
to come out.
Yeah, they have to come out, but to a certain extent, because Brittany was able to answer the question without focusing on her other two people's flaws.
Right,
but
you could see her biting her tongue.
Yeah, and I was very proud of you, Britt, for
too.
not jumping in the middle of that fight. But, you know, I just felt like, okay, why you and not them? Well, here's why it's me. And I'm not going to specifically say names to the other people or, you know, specific reasons just to them why you should not pick them, but I'm gonna show you all the reasons why you should pick me. And I just felt like that was the better way to go, instead of making it like, I didn't hear her list a single reason why she should get the job. It was only why they shouldn't get the job.
Right, totally. I mean, like, she literally went as far as to say, like, she's scared of Kier when Kier gets hungry.
That was a funny line, though.
Yeah, but, like...
That's not necessary.
It's, like,
not
in front of
necessary.
DVF.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with the job.
At all. I do wish that Kier handled it a little bit better, though, because I feel like she could have been more composed and been like Brittany and just played it like, okay, Amanda, like, you know, just was more polite about it instead of kind of stooping down to Amanda's level. And she did it a little bit. I mean, I guess it's hard to when you're being attacked like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Amanda needs to, like, find something to do with her claws. Like, it just needs to be
Or she just needs, you can be assertive, but you don't have to be that. She went over the top assertive so quick instead of just like, okay, when a situation actually arises, I'll chime in and be more assertive in it.
Yeah, I think she took Jessica's advice too much to heart. Yeah. You know, and she kind of lost herself in it. Because I know I don't know, I have a little bit more faith in her, and I feel like that's not really the real her. I think she's just like really getting into this competition, and then she just had this talk with Jessica about being more assertive, so she went out there and like overdid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she did it before too with like the styling with the selling competition with Lenore. I feel like she kind of like stepped in too far.
And that was after the conversation with DVF about being assertive.
Yeah,
so again, I think it's getting to her head.
I think she did do a really great job, though, trying to sell the dress. Yeah. When they were in the Nordstrom's pitch meeting, which I feel like the girls, not for nothing, have had such cool experiences. And I feel like they have really done a great job showing different aspects of like what a brand ambassador would do. Or I'll like just be like the behind the scenes things. Like, yes, you go into Nordstrom's and you see a whole DVF section, but like, who chooses those clothes and like why and how did they get there? And for me, it was really cool.
Yeah, I love that.
I liked it a lot. And it was probably so nice for them to like see these dresses and the jumpsuit that was, you know, originally just a sketch, like alive on a model, like being sold. That's probably so exciting. Poor Abigail.
I felt so bad for Abigail. That's her jumpsuit. And she wasn't even there to get to pitch it. I mean, I know they didn't end up choosing it, but I kind of agreed with, you know, what Nordstrom said for their buyer. The
for their
dress
customer,
is just,
yeah.
the dress is just more practical for them.
I think they should have at least gave Abigail a shout out in that episode.
Yeah, like at least shout out, like, you know what, Abigail's not here to do it herself, so I'm gonna handle this for her, because Abigail did that design all on her own.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Like, you can't give a girl a shout out like that. Like, I'm sorry, but like when you're going into a meeting like that.
Well, no, not in the meeting.
Not in the meeting.
Like just in the episode itself. Like, this is for my girl Abigail. Nordstrom, Nancy, what's up?
Oh my God. Imagine if Kier did that. That would be so funny.
Stephanie would not have been happy with her if she had done that. Not after that coaching session.
Hi, Nancy from Nordstrom. Like, that's just... They're ridiculous. But I think overall it went well. It's too bad they couldn't have taken both of them. But you never know where the jumpsuit might end up.
Yeah, it could be in a store with more stores than Nordstrom.
I actually really would love both of those pieces.
Me too.
They're really cute.
And I feel like a lot of the wrap dresses are a little bit more of a conservative length. They're all a little bit longer. But that one seemed like such a nice, flirty piece. Mm-hmm. It was really cute. And I don't remember back, like, was it Brittany who designed that, or was it Amanda?
The dress?
Yeah.
I think that was Brittany and Amanda.
Yeah,
together.
They were together, and then it was...
But didn't all the girls originally start out on their own, and then they got grouped together?
Not only Abigail did hers on her own. Remember, we were really confused about how the pairing of this went, because it was randomly, like, some people were paired together, and... some people weren't paired with anyone, because it was Kier and Lenore,
yes.
I think, who were working on the piece, and theirs didn't get selected.
Oh,
and Abigail's didn't. So then when the
Lenore,
two, it was like, okay, you guys are gonna work with her now because these girls already have theirs. Yeah.
And so then it was Gina, Brittany, and Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was exciting, and then like, it was kind of silly and like cute to see like Brittany run off and cry. And I just feel like she definitely seems a lot more humble in this episode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just nice to like see her in that, because she was kind of looked at as like the bitch. But like, this is so important to her, and it makes you want to want her to win. Does that even make sense?
I've never not wanted her to win.
Yes, Tiona.
I've had moments, I admit it, but I wanted her not to win. But this episode, I think she redeemed herself.
Okay, so then let's get into it, because that was this episode pretty much, right? So who do you guys think, like, what do you think is going to happen next week? What are your predictions? Who do you think is going to be the final? I guess there's not going to be a final two, right?
No, because next week we're going to find out the winner.
Yeah.
So I think that Amanda has, obviously, Jessica rooting for her, and Jessica has DVF's ear. I know DVF is eventually going to make her own decision, but I think that it's going to make the decision tougher. And I think Stephanie has beef with, actually Jessica has beef with Brittany, and I think Stephanie does too. So that's not really helping Brittany's cause. So I think Amanda may skate by, in my opinion, and then it'll be between Kier and Brittany. I think for my top choice, are we doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, for my top choice, it'd be Brittany. Because I think she just showcased throughout the entire season that she's capable of being the brand ambassador. And I think out of the three, yeah, she does have her, moments. But I think this episode, we saw her just really, like, take heed to everyone's criticisms and, make herself a better candidate.
I agree. It's going to be Brittany. And I think that the things that Brittany's faults are easier to fix, and she's more willing to fix them, as we saw tonight. She got a critique from DVF, and she immediately started implicating that into her life, as opposed to the other girls who, they might have beef with Kier, and, there was talk about, her mood swings and stuff like that. That kind of stuff is harder to change.
A mood swing is harder to change than a bad attitude.
Yeah, because if you're gonna be moody when you're hungry, and she told DVF that she's stressed from being away from home.
Yeah,
and
I wish she didn't say that.
Which, I mean, that's your life as a brand ambassador.
Which
you're never gonna be home.
Clearly, let her know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've said it from day one. Brittany's always been in my top 3, and she's gonna be the winner.
Do you want to know what's screwed up? I want Brittany to win too, and I think she will. But I almost don't want her to win just so you could be wrong.
Christina, that's so rude.
I know, but
Christina's just mad because we're friends in real life, and I'm always right when I tell her something. So
that's not true.
yeah, Tiona's always right.
That's not true. I agree. I think that Amanda's going to be. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd like want to see Brittany and Kier be in the top 2. I think they both are the strongest competitors, and I think they both really deserve it and could be great brand ambassadors. I'm very eager to see what's going to happen with the runway show tomorrow or next week.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see how like Amanda messes up, and kind of I'm curious to see how Jessica defends her. And
this would be the second time that Amanda had a big screw up that was something for Jessica, that Jessica, she can't blink her eyes and not pay attention to it this
totally
time.
And what I'm really curious about is to see who Stephanie wants.
Yeah, because the whole team is like undecided too. They are not even agreeing on just one clear winner either. So
I just think that for me, the reason I really like Brittany, a lot of it is because I love her style.
Me too.
Yeah. I think
every episode she's on point.
She's always on point, and it's
flawless.
Cool. And I feel like since it is, I think they are doing this to attract a younger audience to the brand. I feel like Brittany's style, like makes you want to wear DVF. She just pairs it like she makes it look younger and cool and fresh.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I said it last week on the show. Like anytime the cameras are on her, she's put together.
So
she's
polished,
made up. She's polished. She's just everything that you want to be. And I am someone who's never bought anything DVF because I've always thought like, oh, that's like old lady type of stuff. But seeing it on her, it's like, oh wow, like I could wear that like for a night out on the town or something.
Mm-hmm. I did want to make a point. I remember one episode you were saying that Kier and Brittany were in on something together to really conspire to be the final 2. And in this episode, we see them really bonding. And I was just like, Tiona's right.
What was that? Tiona's right. Oh my God.
I didn't expect that to happen. Did you guys? When there's that scene with
I did
them
not
on
expect
the bed,
them to be
and they were talking about
drinking
Amanda.
wine in
Actually,
bed.
I was thinking that too because I was like, wait, didn't these girls hate each other? But then I couldn't remember. Did Kier have more beef with Abigail? Right? Not necessarily Brittany. Like, I mean, I feel like they both got like feisty with each other. But I believe Kier had more of an issue with Abigail.
Kier had her big moments with
Brittany as well.
Too, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was cute to see them like braiding each other's hair and
stuff.
To
hear Kier say like, "I would rather lose to you than to Amanda."
Right.
That's coming from Kier of all people.
Kier of all people.
So, do you think Kier thinks that Brittany's gonna win too?
No, I think that Kier's definitely still in it. And I think that if it comes down, one of Brittany's notes tonight was to fix her face. That's easy. Like, smile more. Okay. Easy note. I'm going to smile more, but.
But Kier didn't have, like, any bad notes either. Now, I don't know. Maybe Kier is going to win. I really don't know.
I really don't know either. I just really want it to be Brittany.
I want it to be Brittany.
I don't know what I want. I feel like there's a song I could sing with those lyrics, but I
probably shouldn't sing it.
Okay, let's get into gossip. Do you guys have any news or gossip?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay.
Lenore's departure blog is up on Eve. You guys want to read it?
Did you read it?
I did. I kind of skimmed through it, but it's basically what we heard her say in this episode, that she's so grateful for this experience and she's learned so much, and she's excited about this home sales position with DVF.
So did she get a position?
I think they're talking about it. I don't know if it's completely locked in yet.
I hope she does. She obviously could be a great salesperson.
I thought DVF was going to give her a job in one of the stores.
Oh my gosh, that's what I thought too.
Are her and Tiffany going to be working in the same store? Oh my gosh.
That's what I thought she was going to say too.
It's like, here's your consolation prize. Yeah. You get a job in my store.
I wish they need to do something where they show us what's in the DVF bag.
Yeah.
Like, what do they get as a going away gift?
Abigail opened hers on her like departure video, and the gift itself is her book wrapped up
in that big bag.
There's got to be more.
There's got to be something
There's
else.
more. I guess there's other things, but like she was like, I got this on the show and I haven't opened it, and I want to open it so everyone can see. And she unwrapped it, and it was her book that's signed from DVF with like a personal message in there to her.
Wow.
That bag's so big though.
But I mean, it's not very full. It's a big bag, but it's also not very full.
But still, I feel like she needs to give them each like a DVF wardrobe. It would just
Maybe
be
there's
smart.
a gift card in there for like $5,000.
Maybe. Let us know. If you're watching this and girls, let us know. I guess that's it, you guys. Yeah. I'm like so sad that next week is the finale.
I am too. That flew by.
I know. 8 episodes went by real quick.
I know. But thanks, guys. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Teresa Jane, and I also host Stalkers After Show on Wednesday nights.
And I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias. That's MISSZIAS, and at MissZias.com. And comment below our YouTube video and let us know who you think is going to be the winner. All right, guys. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.